Mudrock, hit the lights. Morning, pre-calculus students. I don't know what number video this is I have made. I have made so many mistakes. So I think I'm just going to just do the best I can, rifle through this thing. If I make mistakes, I'll catch it as I'm going along. This video for you guys today is for the Chapter 8 review test. So I have a photo of it in front of me. Again, if I think you guys might have it. If not, no big deal. It'll be on the LMS. Just print it up. It's a PDF. It will be the very last page. Also, that PDF that I sent deals with Chapter 8, and it's Big Bob. So if you guys need some review problems to get yourself prepared for the test, I have given you Big Bob, and all you got to do is work some examples out, and you got Big Bob to help you out. So what I'm going to do is I want to do a few examples, and I'm going to do it without the calculator and with the calculator. Again, I need to just show you both ways. Again, I'm certain you guys are just going to use the calculator. That don't bother me, but I do need to show you how to do it without the calculator. So I'm going to start off with number 4. Again, number 4, they gave us this system of equations. We have 3 equations, and we have 3 unknowns, x, y, and z. And what we got to do is find out what the solution is. And we're going to do this problem by matrices, okay? So the first thing we do is we're going to take our system and write it as a matrix. And once again, a matrix is just nothing more than a rectangular array of numbers, all coming from the 3 equations, okay? Again, as a quick recall, again, the first thing we got to remember in doing this is we need to get all these in this main diagonal to be 1s, and all the entries off the main diagonal to be 0s. So again, I did some part of it with you guys already. I just thought I'd just go back and cover it so we can see it and then try one by ourselves. So I like to get an entry right here of 0 first. So I'm going to replace this third row. And to replace this third row, I've got to take one of my 2, either the first row or the second row, multiply it by a value so that we can add it to the third row to replace third row. So what I did in this case is I took the first row and multiply each entry in the first row by -3, put that in the back of my head, and then I'm going to add it to the third row to replace the third row. Makes sense. Then I'll go and get an entry of 0 right here. So I'm going to replace the second row first by taking the first row and multiplying each entry by -2 and adding it to the second row. And that's where we are in this next step. Then I thought we'd do this whole problem together. I want to go and get a 0 right here. So what we're going to do is we want to replace the third row. So we have to focus on the second row. Take the second row and multiply everything by -1, and then we're going to add it to the third row. So -1 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 0 is 0. -1 times 1 is -1. And -1 plus 1 is -1. -1 times -6 is +6. Adding it to the -10, we get -4. I made a mistake right off the bat, so it's no big deal. This should have been 0. Sorry about that. I'm not going to go back and fix it, so it's 0. All right, let's go back to where we're doing. -1 times 10 is -10. -10 plus 18 is 8. All right, so we're pretty much, if you look at it, we have all our zeros in the triangle here. So what we can do next is we can get the main diagonal to all be 1s. So again, to do that, We know the first row is not going to change. Second row is not going to change. And the third row, we're going to divide everything by -4. And now we have it so that our main diagonal are all ones. Off the main diagonal, we have zeros. And as a sidebar, again, this what it would look like if we were doing the REF in our calculator, but I'm not going to focus on that. So the next thing we want to do is just by looking at this problem already, we already know, just right here, we know that Z is -2. So what we're going to do next is a little bit of back substitution. And the back substitution is going to allow us to find out what the Y value is. Well, made another mistake. It's no problem. We know that the second row is going to be this. And we know the first row is going to be this. So what I want to do now is we want to find out what our Y is. So Y minus 6 times -2 equals 10. And solve for Y. Okay, so we have found that Z is -2, Y is -2, and now we can find out what our X is. Going back and using the first equation. And now we have found our solution. So the solution to the system we know is going to be 1, -2, and -2. And that's by doing this problem without the graphing calculator. So how will we do it with the graphing calculator? So again, I've already set it up inside set it up in my calculator. So again, this is review. So we go to second matrix. I have already got my problem set up, but if you forgot how to do it, I'm dealing with matrix A here. So again, we go to edit. So in edit, we know that this is going to be a 3 by 4, and then you write down all the entries from your entire problem, okay? So what we want to do now is we can find out what that solution is, which we already know is -1, -2, -2. So here's what we'll do. We'll go second matrix, go to math, and we'll go to the button that says RREF, reduced row echelon form. Enter, and then go and pick the matrix that you created. I created the matrix in A, so it's set up. Put a parentheses around it, hit enter, and you'll see now that we'll see that X is 1, Y is -2, and Z is -2. Now again, if you have decimals, as a quick recall, you just do math and then hit the frac button. And you'll see there is your problem. So again, I showed you how to do number 4 without the calculator and with the calculator, your choice in helping yourselves out. All right, I think that's good enough on that one. Let's go to our next example is number 5. Number 5 is a multiplication problem. And when you multiply matrices, you gotta remember something, okay? Adding and subtracting matrices, it doesn't matter. As long as the matrices are the same size, it doesn't matter. But for multiplication, we've got to look at the number of rows and number of columns of these two matrices. So I know the first matrix here, this is 2 rows by 3 columns. And this matrix right here has 3 rows by 2 columns. And I've already shared with you that if these two values are the same, we know right off the bat that these two matrices can be multiplied together, and the size of the product will be a 2 by 2. Again, like I'm doing this problem without the calculator, okay? So I already know this is going to be a 2 by 2. So setting it up, we have 2 rows, 2 columns. And the first thing we want to do is find out what this entry is. Again, to find out what that entry is, we take the very first row of the first matrix factor and the first column. And again, 1 times 1 is 1, plus 4 times 0 is 0, plus 5 times -1 is -5. Add all those up, and you'll see that the first entry, first row, will be -4. And you go right down the line as we keep going on, no big deal. All right, looking at my, okay, keep going on, find this entry, take the first row and the second column, and you keep doing the same thing, and that will give it to you. But you can also do this by the calculator. Again, please forgive me, I'm a little bit rushing. Again, I'm sorry about that. I feel like I'm going to make mistakes, so I just show a few problems here just to help you guys out. So I'm going to use the matrix, the calculator for our problem, okay? So again, I've already have this set up in my calculator ready. Again, this is, I set this one up as my first matrix, which is already set up. Oops, let's back it up. Went too far. All right, why is it giving me fits? No problem. All right, what I'll do is I was going to show you, but you can see it. This B is the 2 by 3 matrix, and the letter C is the 3 by 2 matrix. So all we're going to do now is we're going to multiply these together. So it's very simple. All I need to do is take matrix B. Again, not showing my buttons clearly because I got to move my thing up. Let's start that all over again. Second matrix. I'm going to do my 2 by 3 matrix, and then I'm going to multiply it by my 3 by 2 matrix, which is this one set up here. And then we got a calculator, hit enter, and there you go. -4, -12, 5, 6. That is how you would do this problem by using your calculator. All right, now let's go to question number 13. And what we're going to do in question 13 is find what is called the determinant of this matrix. Now this one, it's probably, especially 14. 14 are probably a better one you need to do using your graphing calculator. But I thought I'd show you number 13 without the graphing calculator, but it's probably best to do these problems using your calculator. So starting with number 13, I have it set up. So the first thing we want to do is we want to take the first 2 rows and extend them outside the matrix. You with me? Now the next thing we want to do is it's the application of the 2 by 2 matrix where you take AD minus BC. It's the same application. So what we want to do, just to give you guys an idea, is we want to take these numbers right here and multiply them. Take these numbers here and multiply them, and take these numbers and multiply them. So again, this first one is going to give us -45. Then we're going to add to that this product right here, which is 0, and add to that this product right here, which is -10. You with me? Then I'll go on the opposite direction. We're going to take these numbers right here and multiply them. Instead of adding them together, we're going to subtract them. So this is going to be -54 minus 0 minus -75. Now again, you're probably saying it doesn't make sense. Well, let's just go back. Let's set up a 2 by 2 matrix, okay? So if we have a 2 by 2, we'll just randomly make some numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we want to find that determinant, again, it's AD minus BC. And that gives you the determinant of -2. So same thing here. Take these products, add them together, just like we did here, minus the addition of these products. So if you take all those numbers and add them up, you should get your answer, which, if I've done it correctly, doing number 13, you should have got an answer of 74. Now we can do the same thing with our calculator. So we go second matrix, clear that, second matrix. I've already have this one set up as a 3 by 3. So all I have to do is take, in this case, I do believe we go 5. Well, let me just back that up. We probably have to go second math. Be nice if I get my act together here. Sorry about that. Second matrix math. There is that symbol right here, DET, is determinant. So we go determinant of the matrix we're dealing with, which in this case is, I'm dealing with matrix, the 3 by 3 matrix. I've had these all set up in my calculator. Hit enter, and there you go. So again, I'm hoping that this video was a little bit of a help for you guys. Again, like I said, you guys have access to me, so if you need any assistance, just let me know. You can call me, you can FaceTime me. Again, hopefully this video was a big help. I'm learning as I'm going through this, so if I make mistakes, please be patient with me. It's rather different standing in front of a camera and trying to do this stuff without making any mistakes. Love you guys. Again, I'll catch you around. Thanks.